But let's go ahead and move on to the what's this? The fourth topic of the day, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this right here. We got some more streaming with movies and streaming services, but this time with Amazon. I said big money. They are going to be Amazon is going to be paying $465 million to take on Lord of the Rings, and that is a high price tag. But I mean, I want to know from everybody: do you think is it worth it? And so I have the article right here from the Hollywood Reporter. It says Amazon's The Lord of the Rings to cost $465 million for just one season. The highly anticipated fantasy series will cost far more than previous record-breaking estimates. This will be the largest television series ever made. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Amazon will spend nearly $650 million, that's New Zealand money, $465 million in the US just for the first season. And so I think this is Netflix bought Knives Out 2 and 3 for $450 million, which is nuts, which is insane. But what's up?
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, hold on.
This dude, man.
Hold on. Damn. Lamont, come on, man. How you doing all this multitasking, man? Support this brother and all he's doing to grow $50. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that, bro. Like, thank you. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, Netflix bought that for $450 million, and that's just too much. But I think even though this is $450 million, I think this is a franchise that is actually worth it. This is what I can tell you. Amazon is going to spend about $450 million in season 1. Stuart Nash, New Zealand Minister for Economic Development and Tourism, told Morning Report, "This is fantastic. It really is. This would be the largest television series ever made." Larry, how you feeling about this, man? How you feeling?
Now, I have a couple of questions on this because don't get me wrong, I love this idea. I mean, it's a huge franchise, but I'm curious, is this for only one season? Because let's not forget, when they did the original Lord of the Rings, they filmed all 3 of them at the same time. They filmed that trilogy at the same time, and I'm thinking maybe they should do the same thing and film like season 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time. Because that's a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money for a single season of a show. Now, don't get me wrong. If I did not have Amazon Prime already, and they told me that this was coming on Amazon Prime, I would sign up to get it. Because I love me some Lord of the Rings. And that's why I think, like, for instance, when you originally told me about like Knives Out, I thought that's crazy to pay $400 and something million for that. And even when you look at this, you're actually getting more screen time with this one season. Because if you get 10 episodes at like an hour each, you're getting about 10 hours of content versus maybe 4 hours of Knives Out. For the same amount of money. And I think more people are recognizing this and are willing to probably go and either sign up or re-up their Amazon Prime subscription to get this.
Right on. And the article, again, guys, there's the link down in the description box. It says that they want to do 5 seasons of this, but this is just paying for 1. So if you want to read it in depth, you can. Before I come to Lamont, I also just want to, it has a description. It says the official description: The Lord of the Rings brings to the screens for the very first time the heroic legends of the fabled second age of Middle Earth history. This epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin, unlikely heroes were tested, hope hung by the finest of threads, and the greatest villains that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all world in darkness. I'm not going to read that whole thing. You can't. There's the article is in the description below. Go ahead, Larry.
I was just going to mention one other thing about this too, which I think is a very good purchase for them with this, is that this is a series that covers a lot of different age demographics, where you'll get people that are from like, late preteens, like 11, 12 years old that are very much into fantasy and stuff. My niece is 12. She loves D&D. She loves fantasy stuff, all of that. And then you also get the adults that roll in there. and everyone can enjoy it. And you know, for like my wife, she read The Hobbit and all that when she was a kid. I loved The Lord of the Rings. And when you look at a like Knives Out, that you know that Netflix bought, that's a very mature audience you're talking about. That is not something you're going to sit down and watch with your kids. And this is something that you can, because this is going to cross generations.
Lamont, how you feeling?
As much as I like to bash people for blowing all this money, just making it rain without a pole being around, I'm in support of this one.
Yeah.
As simple as this, man. Money Inc. is reporting that Lord of the Rings franchise to this day has made $15 billion. A poll was done, B. Avery. Now, I think this is what they're banking on. A poll was done where they polled people that watch Game of Thrones and asked what would be something similar they would watch besides Game of Thrones. This was a poll that had somewhere close to 500,000 people. 80% of them said they would watch Lord of the Rings. So you're talking about they're making a very calculated, very, very calculated decision that they can spark something huge from this one season that is certainly going to have more than one season, because the numbers that Game of Thrones did was in the billions. I guarantee you this will be in the billions because of what Larry said. You're going to have people who are Game of Thrones fans that never seen Lord of the Rings that are going to go watch the Lord of the Rings. Then you're going to have these old school heads that watch Lord of the Rings in its heyday that are going to come back and watch it now if everything is done right. I have to say that. If everything is done right. So I'm with this. I think this is a great investment. I think they will triple what they paid, and we'll see where it goes. But this could be something really big.
Right on. Yeah. James, how you feeling?
I honestly think this could be super special for Amazon Prime, because even though they've always been in that Emmy conversation for a while, I think this has the potential to sweep Emmy award seasons as long as this series is going, because
I never think
we saw what the original films did. I mean, geez, they were raking up Academy Awards like crazy. But what I will say is
over 10.
I think it was over 10, yeah.
Yeah, like 12 or something like that, yeah.
I feel kind of like cautiously optimistic for this, though, because of The Hobbit. I hated that trilogy, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Me too.
I thought it was, but they poured so much money into it. Oh my gosh, the CG work that they had to do with that film. I get Benedict Cumberbatch was awesome, but everything else about that just felt so uninspired to me. So I hope this isn't a cash grab, but rather a labor of love for the entire franchise.
Right on, right on.
And see, I wasn't going to mention The Hobbit because I didn't want to disappoint nobody, but
nah, you good, bro.
Man,
yeah,
it's like, where in the hell did you go with that? How do you go from Lord of the Rings with each one of those movies had major fanfare, major money? Then you go to The Hobbit. What? Come on, man.
Yeah.
It was disappointing. It was disappointing, you know. So, but you know, it is what it is. But
Zia Latrice was saying that she would rather see the infamous GOT spinoffs we never received, and those would be great. But those GOT spinoffs, I think, are already contractually assigned to HBO, Warner Brothers HBO. I think they would have to pass on them. I think they have one of those first looks on there, and there's no way they're giving up anything in that franchise.
Yeah, I agree.